All right, so for today, we're going to be teaching a subject, isometric external rotation and internal rotation for the ankle. So we have them pretty much sitting down in a sitting position. We're going to have a Swiss ball as well propped up against the wall here. And we're going to lie it around the ankle. So Garth is in a perfect position right now. He's sitting down with his foot extended. His left leg is slightly flexed for stability. And all we're gonna do here, Garth, is you're gonna push your foot up against the wall, give it a good resistance, trying to keep the knee still as possible. So once he feels that tension, he's gonna hold it for a couple of seconds. Let's go for 5 to 10 seconds. Go ahead and relax. And then we're gonna do this for a couple more reps. So you're just pushing towards that ball, getting the isometric tension. Go ahead. For the isometric internal rotation for the ankle, we're gonna have Garth propped up sitting down right here with the Swiss ball between his legs now. Instead of pushing out like what we did previously in the previous exercise, we're gonna have the ball pretty much sitting in the inside, and all he's gonna do is he's gonna squeeze that foot in, turning that foot in while the other leg is still. So he's applying a good resistance one more time, holding it for about 5 to 10 seconds, and he's gonna release, holding it in and releasing. And you should be feeling this tension right around his ankles. All right, for this exercise, we're gonna be doing a short arc quad. So I'm gonna have the patient pretty much sitting down in this position. And all I'm gonna do is gonna put this bolster right behind his knee. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift your leg up, Garth. Place it like so. Where he's already in the initial bent position with his knee. And all he's gonna do from here is I'm gonna instruct him to squeeze and contract his quad. Make that leg go straight like so for about 5 to 10 seconds for isometric tension. Go ahead and come back down. Focusing on that extension just in a little motion right here. So we're gonna squeeze up and then relax down. We're gonna do this nice and controlled. All he's doing is just squeezing his quads, making that leg nice and straight. For this exercise, I'm gonna teach the subject on how to properly weight shift. So I'm gonna have him pretty much right next to a wall just in case he falls or loses balance, he can catch himself with the wall. I'm also here to spot him. So what we're doing with the weight shift is we're standing nice and tall, hip width apart with the feet. And all we're doing, the affected leg is the right leg. So all we're gonna do is we're from standing position, we're gonna shift most of our weight onto that affected leg, and then he can tolerate as much as he can. So he's gonna swing back and forth here. So from left to his right, to his affected side, and he's putting as much pressure as he wants there, as long as it's comfortable and it's pain-free. So we're gonna do this for a couple of reps. I'm here spotting him, and the wall is there as well. So for this exercise, I'm gonna be teaching my subject on how to perform a calf raise. So we're gonna do a calf raise right about here. We're gonna pretty much use the wall one more time as stability. So we're gonna have you hip width apart, touching the wall just in case you need it. You're just gonna push down with your toes, and you're gonna go up with that motion, pressing down on the toes and controlling back down. Use the wall if you need it. We're gonna be pressing down with the toes, making our weight go up and control back down. You should feel this in the back of your leg. Give it a good squeeze at the top, and then coming back down. Do a couple more reps. Push it through the big toe, and then controlling back down. So for this exercise, we're going to be teaching a modified calf raise. We're going to go 2 up and 1 down. So how we perform this one is we're going to be setting up right here next to the wall. So similar to the calf raise, we're going to be hip width apart with our feet. We're going to be close to the wall just for balance and stabilization. All we're going to do here is we're going to press down to our toes, going 2 up, and then we're going to shift our weight to the side with the affected leg and then control it back down. So we're going to do that one more time here, 2 up, and control it down, focusing on that eccentric portion. So 2 up, and then controlling 1 down. We're going to go ahead and let you do that one, Garth. So hip width apart here. Stabilizing there, yep, 2 up, and then controlling with the right leg going down, focusing on that eccentric portion one more time. 2 up, 1 down, using the wall for any stability that he needs. down, controlling the eccentric portion. So for this exercise, I'll be teaching excursions. A lot of people call this a different way, star balance, 3 ways, but personally I call it excursions. So for us to do this one, we'll be standing right here close to the wall for stability as well. For our affected leg, which is our right leg, is going to be planted, slightly bent. And all you're going to do is you're going to single leg stance first. And then from here, you're going to reach with the left toe as far as you can, tapping the floor. Coming back to midline. We're going to go back to the side, tap, and now we're going to go backwards, tap. Even though we're tapping with our left here, we're actually working on our right leg because that's where our main weight is pretty much being placed. And then, like I said, using the wall here for stabilization, just in case they lose balance. That kind of works the whole foot and knee and even quad as well. So we'll have Garth do the same thing. Right leg is slightly bent. I'm spotting this one right here. Tapping forward, to the side, and behind. As you can tell, he's using the wall for stabilization if he needed it. Tapping to the side, and then to the back. Doing it nice and controlled. The slower you go, the more harder and more difficult the exercise is. And we'll go one more in the back. Perfect. So for this exercise, I'll be teaching my subject on how to perform a sit-to-stand. So initial position is we're going to be seated in this position here. Pretty much spine is nice and neutral. Toes are hip width apart with a slight bend. All you're going to do from right here is you're going to shift your weight forward with your spine still nice and straight, and you're just going to get up, push to the heels, and come back down, okay? So with the spine nice and straight, shifting your weight forward, and then pushing through the heels to get up. Squeeze the glutes at the top so your back is nice and safe. So one more time, just like so. We'll have you perform that. So in a seated position, spine is nice and neutral. Weight shift, yep. Pushing through the heels and then squeezing the glutes at the top. Do that one more time. Perfect. Okay. Next thing we'll do is a single leg sit-to-stand. So similar to the sit-to-stand, we're just going to translate this to one leg. So starting in one leg position here, or in a both leg position, we're just going to get up with one leg. So similar thing, neutral spine. All you're going to do is shift your weight forward, push through the heels with your right leg. Controlling it down, and pushing back up through the heels, squeezing the glutes. So similar setup. Perfect. Spine is nice and neutral, pushing through the heels, pressing up, squeezing the glutes as well, and controlling down. Perfect. Go and relax. Last thing we'll teach is a full squat. So to perform a squat, we're going to be hip width apart with our feet. Toes are slightly outwards. And all we're going to do here is you're going to keep your spine nice and neutral. Is you're gonna sit back on a chair and squat down, keeping most of your weight on the heels, and then pressing back up, squeezing the glutes. So the motion is gonna look like this. Spine nice and neutral, sitting back with the heels, making sure your knees are right in front of your toes, and pressing up with the heels. Hip width apart here, spine is nice and neutral, sitting back, and pressing up through the heels as well. We're gonna do this a couple more times. Sitting back, toes are right in front of the knees, pressing up through the heels. All right, for this exercise, I'm gonna teach the subject on how to properly weight shift. So I'm gonna have him pretty much right next to a wall just in case he falls or loses balance, he can catch himself with the wall. I'm also here to spot him. So what we're doing with the weight shift is we're standing nice and tall, hip width apart with the feet. And all we did, the affected leg is the right leg. So all we're gonna do is we're from standing position, we're gonna shift most of our weight onto that affected leg, and then he can tolerate as much as he can. So he's gonna swing back and forth here. So from left to his right, to his affected side, and he's putting as much pressure as he wants there, as long as it's comfortable and it's pain-free. So we're gonna do this for a couple of reps. I'm here spotting him, and the wall is there as well. Okay, so for this exercise, I'll be teaching my subject on how to perform a side step. So all we're gonna do here is we're gonna stand on one side. We're gonna be both hip width apart with our feet, with a slight bend on our knees. We're gonna go with a neutral spine here, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna travel side to side, pushing through the toes and heels, absorbing that impact right there, and then coming back to the neutral position right here. We're gonna teach Garth on how to perform this one. So hip width apart, slight bend with the knees for stability, and we're gonna traveling side to side, pushing through those heels, pushing through those toes as well, staying nice and low so we can work on his quads and also his lower back as well. So for this exercise, we'll be doing skiers. So we're gonna be starting off in a position where we're single legged, and we're gonna position ourselves with a slight bend on the knee with our right hand forward, left hand back with our left side. All we're gonna do right here is we're gonna push off with our left leg going to the side. So it's gonna look like this. Translating that over and absorbing that impact to our right leg. Once you're stable here, you're gonna go back to the similar spot to the left, absorb that impact, make sure you're nice and stable, and coming back and do the same motion. You can progress this by going as far as you can, but make sure once you're in this position, you're absorbing that impact so you keep you nice and safe. We're gonna teach Garth how to perform this exercise. So single leg stance. All you're gonna do, push out, absorb that impact right there. Perfect, and I'm spotting them right here. Going side to side, pushing through those heels, absorbing that impact,